Well, a very exciting day for the club. We welcome back our head coach, of course, our 23-24 championship coach, Scott Roth, to the island. I'm talking very much fresh off the plane, having arrived here in Tasmania at 11:30 this morning. So very exciting to have Scott back with us. And of course, what that means is that we're looking forward to next season and about to really get into full swing of our pre-season. So as we move forward, I guess we gradually talk less about the championship and more about what's to come. And of course, in my absence and in Scott's absence, we've had some great announcements with both Jack McVeigh and Will Magnay heading off to Paris as part of the Boomers, and we expect Majuk Den would be shortly announced to be playing for South Sudan. So lots of great things. I think acknowledgement on behalf of myself and Larry and the board to Scott and his coaches that they've managed to put a program together that's allowed our players to develop to such an extent that we've now got potentially three representatives in the Olympics. And I think that is testament to the program that's been put in place over the past 3 years. I've been here since day one. I've seen the hard work that's gone on behind the scenes, and I'm really, really proud to congratulate those players and as they head off to the Olympics. Of course, the other piece of big news that's floating around this morning is that Jack McVeigh has potentially been offered a contract with the NBA, and I'll get Scott to address that further. But what we would say is, once again, though, that we are working with Jack's management on what that looks like. However, once again, if that is the case and the outcome is that Jack leaves this program to pursue an NBA option, then once again, testament to the hard work that he as an individual has put in, but also to the support he's had around him through our program. And I couldn't be prouder of CEO, the coaching team that we've got together, of course, under Scott's guidance, but very much with Mark Radford and Jack Fleming. And I think Tasmania should be really proud. I mean, we are putting Tasmania on the international stage very much as these boys do what they do.
It's pretty special watching last night, Jack and LeBron and Steph Curry, and it's pretty amazing, isn't it, from, as you say, where you've come from 3 or 4 years ago to now and what's being done.
Yeah, incredible what's been done, and we talk about it a lot, but they've worked out a shared training facilities. We've had a lot of obstacles that we've done. We were a startup and we were really chasing our tail right from the start, and so to see what's been produced, and I can't do anything but congratulate our basketball program, obviously led by Scott, our head coach, and what we've achieved. I'm super proud. We don't often talk about individual achievements. We like to talk about everything as a team and a club. But I think these sort of achievements really need us to stand back and really offer our sincere congratulations.
Scott wanted some progress on the High Performance Centre, obviously. Was he pleased with what you told him when you got off the plane?
Yeah, Scott's not alone in wanting progress on the High Performance Centre, and I'm really, really pleased that having spoken with the Minister's office yesterday, the final bit of soil testing will happen this Friday. And I really think that and hope that we're in a position by late next week to announce the location of the High Performance Centre. That, of course, is pending no issues with the soil. And as I understand it, so far so good in that respect.
Just with the Jack potentially heading off to Houston, obviously you're still getting your head around what all that looks like, I suppose. But right here, right now, what are the sort of I's you need to dot and T's you need to cross in terms of how that sort of happens?
Well, it's very much a team issue, so I'll get Scott to address that. But as a club, what we will do and what we will always do is want to see our players end up in the best competition in the world. And what we are really proud of is that we've developed those players accordingly. We don't plan any program around 1 or 2 players. We plan it around a whole squad, and we're very confident that if that's what happened and Jack leaves us, that we've got the right program in place and the right tools to make sure the success that we've enjoyed will continue.
What's that location for the HPC's announced, Christine? Is there any kind of idea of when work will officially begin on that one?
No, that's a great question, and one that I'll be pushing the government for an answer on really, really quickly. I think it's becoming more and more urgent when you see the success of our program. Obviously, when players see what's happening with this program, they are going to want to come and play with us, but this High Performance Centre continues to be an obstacle in our path. So obviously I'm going to keep pushing that. I've done a lot of work over the off-season working with the government and Department of State Growth to make sure that we're really in a position to announce this very shortly.
What's the hold-up, do you think, or what's been sort of illustrated to you in terms of the hurdles that need to be cleared?
Look, I think, there's been a number of things. There's been competing demands on the government since the election, and I think that whilst they've been progressing this, other matters have been addressed as well. So, look, I'm confident it's now back firmly on the agenda and we'll move forward.
Coach,
Thanks.
Nice to see you and look nice and tan. Do you feel refreshed?
I feel refreshed. You look very pale. Still bald.
Yep.
It's all good. No, I feel great. Had a great break. Enjoyed myself with my family. Made some nice little getaway trips, and yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm quite motivated coming back here and excited about the fourth year of this program. And yeah, it's been a wonderful 2.5 months of just enjoying myself and doing what I need to get done.
Plenty to ask you about, obviously, but can we start with Jack and
Yeah.
the news this morning? What can you tell us? Is it official? Is it still unofficial?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's official yet until it's obviously signed, but this has been going on for a little while, and I had a conversation with some people before I left, and it's been going on, and I think it's one of those things, Jack's a dream chaser, and he has an opportunity to do that. We'll support him all the way through that. If you told me 6 months ago that he'd be playing against LeBron James and wearing an Olympic uniform, I would probably said probably not, but Jack is always kind of an odds maker going against things and always coming out on the other side, and what a wonderful 6 months he's had, and he's chasing this dream.
So you're planning in terms of potentially having to cover Jack now from a Jack jump?
Well, we're down the road with some guys already, and we're always trying to at least be on top of things, and if we have to bring someone in on a more of a temporary basis to fill out that last roster spot, we will. Again, we'll see what happens here in the next few days when things get more official, but we're agile enough to move, and I really feel good about the group we have and the other players. It's going to be a great test for Majuk Dang, who gets to come back and hopefully be healthy and ready to go coming off the Olympics and Fab. And I think people are going to be really surprised with Craig Sword and what he can do. So we'll just be flexible. We'll do what we do. We'll grind away and we'll play as hard as we can, and that's how it is.
What if you lost Mags as well? Because there's a real chance
Yeah.
that could happen as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, all those are going to hurt us as a franchise from a playing standpoint, but it's also a reward on the other end of it of the hard work. You can't stop a 26-year-old from dreaming and chasing their dreams. Jack McVay is very much like Scott Roth. Everyone told me I could never play in the NBA since I've been 10, 12 years old. That's all I've heard. And all I did is keep proving people wrong. And when you're chasing those dreams and you're working hard for it, you should have the opportunity to go do that. Why would you want to hold a 26-year-old back from chasing that dream? So on a selfish end, yeah, it's going to hurt us, and we'll have to obviously some holes to fill. But from an overall standpoint of the club and the NBL and our exposure around the world, wow, what a thing that's transpired here with 3 Olympians, an NBL championship, and this little island that everyone said couldn't do it.
Can you speak a bit more about that, just in terms of if he does make it in the NBA and steps onto an NBA floor, what sort of advertisement that will be for your organisation?
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that he's going to be able to don a Houston Rockets jersey is enough. Those are dreams. Everyone's right now living a dream in Las Vegas playing in the NBA Summer League. Every one of those kids that are over there has a dream of playing in the NBA. Milton Doyle went through the same process for his entire career. Jordan Crawford. They're all chasing it. Craig Sward's coming in. He's been on multiple NBA teams on multiple 10-day contracts. He's been chasing the dream, and now he's let the dream go, and he's moving on to start his career with us. That dream is what sports are about, whether you're in the AFL and you're coming up in the younger youths to go into the big leagues. And that's what it's all about. Again, selfishly, yeah, it's going to hurt us. But in the long run, my job as the coach, I will coach as hard as I possibly can and produce the best team we can always produce. But the rewards for me, again, are not the winning and losing, but seeing people like Jack McVay succeed and seeing Mark Rafford hold that NBL trophy and being a Tasmanian his entire life, to have that around him, that to me is why I'm here. I'm not here for the wins and losses. I'm here for these kids, for my staff, for the state to enjoy what we're doing.
What does that first day of pre-season practice look like with the championship well and truly in the rear view mirror, I suppose?
Yeah, so I sent a text out a couple of weeks ago basically saying it is in the rear view mirror. And, the thing that we will repeat is our culture. The thing that we will repeat is our work ethic. The thing that we will repeat is showing up every day and doing our jobs. That's the 3 things I told them that we are going to repeat. The championship's long gone. It's time to move on. We turn the page. And we just get back to work. And that's the only thing I know, is just going through our process and staying steady and confident about what we're doing. And we have great, great people. And we've added some really great people again. And I just truly always believe character is going to prevail, and I think it'll prevail again this year.
Mentioned Craig a few times there, Scott, one of the number of new players this season. You must be excited to bring some new life, I guess, into the playing group and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, he's a disruptor. He's an energy guy that we've never had before. A guy like him flying around and creating havoc, and really fiery, and he's going to be exciting to watch. And I think he's just going to infuse our guys with a lot of energy, which is what someone we were looking for. You know, he's only 6'3", but he can play 1 through 4. He can play the 4 spot. He's played at the highest levels. He's been on Team USA, helping them qualify in the last couple summers. And so he's got experience, and he just plays. He's just a guy that just gets a little bit of everything done, and I think he'll be fun to watch. You know, Gorjak, I think, is another guy that will be exciting for us. I think he's another one that will have a chip on his shoulder coming in here and wants to really improve, and we sold him on that was what it would be here. And the other one, again, I go back to is Majuk Dang. I think, you know, he showed sparks of what he was a few years back. And now what he's done in the playoffs, we would not be standing with this trophy if it wasn't for him in 2 of our games in the series. So I'm excited for him to be back in the mix. And if Jack happens to go, it's going to be a great opportunity for a bunch of our guys to step in some roles and should enjoy ourselves and have some fun doing it.
With
To
the
speak about next man up mentality,
Yep.
is that message going to even, I guess, talk about more day one of preseason, given the potential that Jack might not be there, Will may not be there in the long run?
I mean, we don't talk about those things. It's just, right now, it's just ingrained in what we're doing and our culture and about what we're doing, being unselfish and just ready to play your role. And our guys will slide into these spots and we'll evaluate them. And the good news is I play 11 guys, so everyone's out there playing. And if you happen to be doing a little bit better, you get to stay a little longer on the floor. But it'll just be the next man up, and we'll find the right combinations, and we'll play as hard as we can.
Because it's July, your imports are locked in. What's the depth of talent out there like now to replace these guys if you need to?
Imports or locals?
Locals, because they'll have to be locals.
Yeah.
like that.
Obviously, there's 2 groups. I think there's obviously the imports the locals that have not made rosters, that are still lingering and kind of the back end of actually the guys that I was choosing 3 years ago are still there. And then you have these high-end guys like Nick Kay and some of these guys that are going to be making a lot of money that are just waiting to see if they go back to Japan or go back to a big team in Europe. So you got the 2 extremes. Obviously, we're going to be looking on the bottom side of those extremes to find someone that we think will fit our culture, that will help us during our practices, that I can put on the floor. And there's a few of those guys still left, and we'll have no problem identifying them. And if we need to bring them in, we'll bring them in.
Have you got some money to spend though? Those guys will be on pretty good.
Well, if we could obviously jack some of his money back, depending on what transpires, there we'll have a few bucks to still spend to find someone to replace him.
Christine mentioned the development of high performance centre. Scott, no doubt you won't be overly happy to leave the shovel in the dirt, but are you pleased with where things sit on your return?
Yes and no. I mean, I've been asked for 3 years the same question, obviously, and I know Christine and the entire organization have been working their butts off to try to get this done. But it's been 3 years, and it's just a box with split in half with a few offices on one side and put a piece of wood on the other side, and you got a high performance center. This is not rocket science. And I don't know how long it takes to build a box, but most places not very long. And I really think that it's a detriment, not just to us, but if the ladies league is going to come into our area and we have a team here, it's their high performance center too. We'll probably end up sharing that. It is for the entire state. It should be something that is just here. I don't know what more we can do, but to keep saying it and keep doing it, it shouldn't take this long. It just should, you know. And no offense to the AFL, but I see, you know, this photo every day going up of the structure that they're building down there on the water and all the stuff and all the graphics and all that stuff. There's not going to be a team here for years. We're here. Take care of us right now. It's not a big ask. I know there's a lot of other things going on in the state with teachers and schools and hospitals, but this is something that's been promised to us 3 years ago, and it shouldn't take long to build a box. And so until I see dirt or a bulldozer or something, I just hope it gets done before I leave here in 3 years.
How
What
tough
about
is
the
it?
Silverdome need some upgrades as well before the season? Are you confident that'll get done?
I mean, I hope that's been done. That's been 3 years of the same thing. You know, it's not a big deal over there, in my opinion, of changing out the floor, putting in some new lights, taking care of the bathrooms, taking care of the locker rooms. I'm not sure what all the designs need to be done there. It's not a big ask in general, but it just hasn't gotten done. I think Christine's been on that again. She probably has more information since I've been gone. But again, you know, I go to Muna, I go all over this place, and I see terrible bathrooms, terrible lighting, terrible floors, old buildings that have been in the 1950s and have been stuck there. And I just don't get it. And basketball's going like this, and you just can't get a building that's adequate enough. And the newest building is in Ulverston, which we'll end up practicing in up there. But that's it. There's nothing here. And it's a shame because kids are dying to play. And I'm just hoping that they see this high performance center. It gives them some hope again. We get more people playing in the summers and the winters there, and we're using it in a way that's going to be really positive for the state.
Have happened as yet, and they're very keen to understand what upgrades have happened in the off season. So at the current time they haven't happened, so the NBL will be visiting me in a couple of weeks to have a look at the standard of the venue, and they will then determine whether they think the venue will be fixed in time or up to standard, and if not, then we're going to have to look at what happens next. So it is becoming quite urgent. The Silverdome upgrade is very much on top of the agenda.
Is there a chance that those Launceston games could be relocated if those upgrades are made?
I'm going to have to explore all options, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, as Scott said, there's some basic things that need to be done, and the NBL will have to determine whether they think it meets the minimum guidelines, and there was very much some suggestions from our opposition teams in recent years that it wasn't. We've obviously got the Kings up there, and I'm sure they'll be very vocal about that, so we've just got to make sure we get these developments right and fixed so that we can see our fixture through up there.